せしました。世界一可愛いのは伊藤ちゃん。
Hello, everybody. Tiger.
Hello,
Tiger.
hello.
Hey, we're back. We're back here with Main Stage Wrestling, not on WERW Real College Radio. We left there. You know, we took our business. We had it out, and now we're independent contractors, and we're looking to make it big. Isn't that right?
That's correct. We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna rebuild our own brand. We're gonna trademark our catchphrases.
Yes. Put them on a bunch of T-shirts.
You can find our new home at prowrestlingtees.com.
That's right. That's right. You can buy all the shirts there. Our RSS feed is up there. Everything you need for main stage wrestling. But Tiger,
Yes.
it's been a while since we got together online to do one of these, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been
Yeah.
quite a while, and I'm sure it felt longer for everyone in the world actually than like half a year. This half a year felt like it was like 5 years.
Yeah, and specifically because they've been without our voices and our content for such an extended period of time. And I imagine that's probably a really tough thing to experience as such a devoted listener.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very sorry. I think you owe a personal apology to
I do.
one of our viewers. I think you know who I'm talking about, JC.
I know who you're talking about. I think I do know who you're talking about.
Okay, let's hear it
I
then.
I mean, I apologize to this very specific viewer for my inadequacies, my lack of drive, my lack of motivation, and lack of willpower over the past 6 months that has led me to stop watching wrestling almost entirely and give up on this radio show.
You have to also apologize to her father, Brock Lesnar, of course.
Oh, I don't remember any references apparently, Tiger. I'm sorry, Maya. I'm really sorry. She probably has been longing for at least my voice for all this time, and I'm sorry I couldn't provide.
Yeah,
I'm really,
I know.
really apologetic. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And what happened to wrestling? I want to ask you in this time that we're away. I want to
In the
ask,
past 6 months?
what happened to wrestling, JC?
Okay, so approximately 6 months ago, Tiger,
Yeah.
I began the fall semester of school, as did you, right? So
Yes,
I
yes.
packed up my bags. I came back here to Syracuse, New York, home of Main Stage Wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
and I started classes. And
Yes.
then I realized, oh my God, I'm pretty busy with classes and I don't enjoy wrestling. So let me stop watching this. And so I stopped watching it. And then I realized, oh my God, I don't miss it. And then I went on for about 5 months with no wrestling.
Yes, yes.
And then I turned on AEW one week and I was like, oh, I still like AEW. Let me watch this. And so I've watched maybe the past like 10 episodes of that, and that's where we're at. So as far as the state of wrestling goes, at least according to the past 10 weeks of AEW, it's pretty fun. Wrestling's pretty good again, right?
Yes,
Everything's
yes.
solved.
Uh-huh. And getting the boys and the girls and every person getting together in AEW, as you can probably tell in recent times. TJPW, NJPW, Stardom. I don't know if Stardom is there, but a lot of people from different promotions have shown up in AEW, right? TNA
Yeah, a lot of
people.
fans also showing up in the crowd, which is pretty wild, you know?
Really? Was there a lot of fans?
Yeah, well, not a lot, but they try their best to get people in there.
Are you sure that those are fans and not just like the family members of the wrestlers?
I mean, you're probably right. You're probably right. But I think because they do like every episode, they'll advertise like tickets go on sale for the when we come back to Jacksonville. And oof, I can't imagine what it's like to be at one of those recordings right now. One, because like there's probably no real environment to it. There's no real atmosphere. But then two, it's probably like those old NXT tapings where they do like 6 episodes in one sitting, which sounds horrible.
Yeah, but at least you just like sit there and you endure it, and then you don't have to watch TV anymore for
I
a few
guess
weeks.
so.
You can
That's true. That's
use
true.
use that time to get a degree.
To get a degree. Yep, yep. That's right. Which honestly, I probably should have realized that I don't enjoy watching wrestling like way back in like 2013 because my dad and I went to an episode of Monday Night Raw in San Antonio, Texas, right?
Yeah.
And we got to the end of the grueling 3 hours that was the show, and then
What
they
happened on
had
that Raw? Tell me.
oh, a lot of matches happened. Probably some segment involving a general manager. I don't remember. But
Hmm.
I remember specifically is that the ring announcer got back into the ring at the end of the 3 hours. It was probably like JoJo at the time.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't Justin Roberts. But the ring announcer got back in and they announced, don't go anywhere. Be sure to stay right in your seat because we're about to record next week's episode of Monday Night Raw. And um I ended up sitting through 6 hours of Monday Night Raw in the AT&T Center.
Wait.
Um,
So what did you guys know that was gonna happen?
no,
Oh.
they got through the episode and they just announced we're pre-recording, so stick around. And so I think we were able to move up seats. It was a school night, so that
Oh.
wasn't the greatest for my mental
Wow.
capacities the next day.
Hmm.
For probably like eighth grade JC,
So,
but I mean, I survived it. I toughed it out.
okay. So you didn't tell the teacher that the dog ate your homework. You told them that like JBL tore it up, right?
Yeah, yes, John Bradshaw Layfield in 2013
Yeah.
got up from the commentator's booth into the crowd and tore up my
No,
homework.
Michael
It was
Cole.
despicable.
Michael Cole came personally.
That's absolutely right.
You're trying to do homework in the crowd, and Michael Cole came up personally. He's like, "Get out of here, kid."
He just kicks me out of the arena.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
Damn, I didn't know Michael had that
your dad's
that kind
stuck
of power.
inside. Your dad's stuck inside. He couldn't drive you
They don't
home.
let him leave.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
To have your 13-year-old child kicked out of a stadium, and I got to be honest, the AT&T Center is not in the nicest area of town, so
Wow.
really, it wouldn't have been a great situation for young me.
But
Not at all.
it made for great podcast material 8 years later.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But my point of all that was to say that because it was pre-recorded, I didn't have to watch Raw the next week, and I should have been mindful enough in that moment to realize during those 3 hours, 7 to 10 o'clock, in I don't know, probably like the fall of 2013, that oh my god, this is enjoyable. I don't feel obligated to watch this horrible, horrible show. But that
But
didn't
then,
kick in.
but then many
Took a
years
while.
later, when you were in college, and I watched Raw with you, and every week I was like, "Why are you watching this?" And you're just visibly cringing in every segment, and you're like, "I gotta watch this."
Yeah, and that was about the level of justification I had. It was just because I'd watched every episode since I was 8, 9 years old. So like it sort of becomes like a matter of pride, you know? I
Wow.
don't know really if it's deserved or justified pride.
Hmm.
I don't know who's going to be impressed by my having watched this horrible, horrible piece of programming for 9 years straight, but I guess in my head I convinced myself it was admirable. It wasn't, by the way. Taking a step back now, it was not. It was a mistake.
Okay, but could it have anything to do with the fact that SmackDown is now on Friday, and you just don't want to watch wrestling on Friday, on Monday,
Oh yeah,
and
because
on
I was
Wednesday?
I was so busy. I was so busy on my Friday nights before then. I would just go out party with all my
Oh,
friends. It was it
absolutely.
was a wild time.
Hmm.
So
It's
yeah, I think that was probably it.
Yeah, those
But
first
no,
years of college were wild
what I
times.
honestly, if I'm gonna take a step back and be like completely honest about it, I
Yeah.
think it was more just like circumstance. Like if I didn't have the internship that I did this past summer,
Hmm.
I probably would still be watching every single episode. Because I mean, I was going in and working like 6 days a week for
Right.
like at least 8 hours each one of those days. And so when I got back and I had like 4 hours before I went to sleep, I didn't want to watch wrestling. And
Yeah.
so there were just a couple times when I wouldn't. And so
Okay.
then when school started up, it was just like, okay, well, I don't have like any like external forces like pressuring me to watch this now, so I'm just not going to. And
Yeah.
so that, and then also like wrestling started sucking during COVID, like even more than usual, where I think the crowd's pretty important. I think the Thunderdome's pretty weird, and I don't like the piped in "Holy crap" chants. It's not fun.
Yeah, but wasn't there actually a piped in "Holy shit" chant this past week
I
at
think
Royal
during that
Rumble?
like Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns match, I think there
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
But it definitely wasn't a distinguishable shit. It was just like because we know, like we've heard it before,
Hmm.
we can sort of put the pieces together in our head. But I think it was more like a holy sh, you know.
Yeah,
I don't
which just
I don't know
begs
though.
the question why they did it the way that they did. But
Yeah.
that's always the question when you watch wrestling.
Yeah, by the way, can we talk about probably my favorite spot in all of wrestling, or at least in COVID era wrestling, that,
Please,
that came from that Royal Rumble pay-per-view?
please.
Okay, so it was during that Roman Reigns Kevin Owens match, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting near the finish, and Ro- Roman
Oh,
Reigns
I know what you're gonna talk about.
breaks out the handcuffs, and in a turn of events, Kevin Owens gets hold of the handcuffs, and he ends up locking Roman
Hmm.
onto like the very bottom of this I don't know, like this structure, this beamed structure,
Yeah.
and like I guess a scaffold, if you will. But he handcuffs him to the very bottom of it, so he literally can't stand up on his feet. And so when the referee started counting, it started out as like a normal 1, 2, and continued at that cadence until we got to about a 5 count when we realized that Paul Heyman's key for the handcuffs just didn't work. And so
Yeah.
Roman was down for about a count of 30 seconds in this last man standing match. It was wonderful.
I really thought that they would have like bumped the second ref as well. Because
There was no reason not to. You already beat up one referee. Why can't you do it to another? Like,
I mean,
it's.
Paul Heyman could have
Oh,
used like some sort of like freedom powder, I don't know, to like blind the ref or the second ref.
freedom powder. I guess so. I guess so.
Uh,
But no, that's not what happened. Instead, we just we got the camera off of the ref and just zoomed in on Paul Heyman for a long time.
and maybe,
Much.
yeah, I think it's just, I don't know why they didn't like use a fake cuff, I guess is the biggest question.
Yeah, and also like that's so bad, like so egregious of a thing to have go wrong in a match like that, that I wouldn't have even been mad if they just cut the camera feed and were like, "Oh my God, we're having technical difficulties," and then
But
like
I think
done something stupid like that.
the biggest problem is that the match was really good, was the biggest problem. Like if the match was terrible and
Yeah.
we would just be like laughing throughout, and that would just be another like laughable aspect about it. But the match was like really good up until the end where this happened. So
Yeah, like it was a whole lot of momentum being built up, and it was getting really exciting. It was getting really cool to watch and really fun, and you're wondering what way it was going to go. And then just in a split second, all of the momentum just got zapped out of the room. It
yeah,
wa- it was
I,
so sad.
it was also really funny because at some point Roman realized that he can actually squat while being locked in that position.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's
Which like it makes sense for him to do that in a moment of panic, but it also makes Kevin Owens look like a real dumbass because it's like, oh, well, this doesn't even work. Like
but it's not exactly a science, you know. Like what can Kevin do? Like Kevin find some like guy and just like, hey, let's try if we can do this.
no, what should have happened is Kevin should have got pissed off at the referee for counting slow, and then make that a story where like the ref gets distracted because Kevin Owens is like verbally assaulting him, and so the ref is too distracted to count, and then
Oh, actually, what should have happened is because Kevin got like low blow, right? So like the ref should be checking on Kevin Owens.
oh, checking on his crotch just
Yeah,
to make sure
just to make sure,
everything's intact.
because like it's a okay. So this is just my personal opinion, but like even if a
Of course.
match is no DQ and like anything goes, the ref should be able to stop them. Okay, the ref shouldn't be able to stop the match when one of the participants is using a hammer on the other participant.
Yeah, yeah. When one of
But
them is a literal monster that murders people,
but
maybe we already have some leeway.
yeah, but I think if like one of the participants is like completely out, like just unable to defend themselves, just like on the ground, I think maybe
Yeah,
they should be able to call it. But like in that hammer
but
problem,
also,
the hammer problem was that both people are up. Like the fiend is like on his knees, and it's no disqualifications, and the ref is like, "You're better than this, Seth."
It's it. Yeah. That we don't talk about that. We don't
Okay,
talk about that, and we don't talk about Saudi Arabia. You know, the
okay.
Fiend does not exist in those two contexts. But everything else, great stuff. Fiend, 10 out of 10. Burnt to a crisp. Very sad. Rest in peace. You know?
Yeah,
Which I guess that's something that was big that happened when I wasn't watching wrestling, is that the Fiend died, which is a little sad.
yeah. But but while we watched wrestling, Rey Mysterio's eye popped out. So
It's true. That was actually the last pay-per-view I was when I was consistently watching TV
yeah,
was him getting his eye gouged. Which, you know what? I'm plenty happy with that being the point when I stop watching wrestling because now, just in perpetuity for forever, Dominic Mysterio is always going to be my favorite wrestler, like my favorite young wrestler. He'll be 40 years in, and he'll still be like my young prospect that I root for. You know?
I think it's pretty accurate that at 40 years old, he's still considered a young prospect by the company.
Yeah. Ray's still gonna be there having these great matches, and Dominic's just hanging out in the background. It'll be
Yeah,
a great time.
because
Yeah.
apparently Drew McIntyre is still considered a young prospect for the company. So
Of course. Of course. Which, by the way, do you think Dominic is going to inherit his dad's beer sponsorship?
oh my god, I could not believe that Ray just straight out came out and he was like a walking billboard, dude.
It was so good. I was so confused when I was watching it, what was happening, because it's unlike anything I've ever seen in all of wrestling and Royal Rumble history. Just,
Do you think he should be able to like defend the sponsorship like it's a championship?
oh, I think so. Like, if CM Punk comes back, that can be his, like, first big feud,
Wow.
just because he
Yeah.
was pissed at Vince for not letting him do sponsorships.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so we can have a triple threat between, like, Brock, Ray, and Punk. I think it'd be a beautiful, beautiful matchup.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Did Ronda have any sponsors when she was with WWE or no?
No, I don't think so.
She didn't?
No,
Okay.
she was sponsored by Rowdy Piper.
Oh, I see. I see. A deceased man she was sponsored by, you're
I
saying.
mean, she was wearing his merch,
No, this makes sense.
so
This absolutely makes
and
sense.
wearing his jacket. So I guess in a way she is sponsored by him.
So every time Charlotte comes to the ring, they should run a Ric Flair promo, just like at the bottom.
Oh
Is that?
well, I'm glad you said it because
Oh,
Charlotte is no longer sponsored by Ric Flair. Ric Flair
oh
is
my
now
God.
sponsoring Lacey Evans.
Despicable. Disgusting. Why? I can't believe he would turn his back on his daughter like that. There's a certain line that television and in writing should not cross. And quite frankly, I'm disappointed and I'm disgusted with WWE that they'd stoop so low as to have a father turn on his daughter.
You're telling
I,
the company that wrote the line, he's not up there.
are you talking? Are you trying to quote the Booker T Triple H line right there?
No,
Because there's a
no.
lot of horrible, horrible
Oh
events in the
no,
history of this company we can point to.
I'm trying to quote the Randy Orton to Rey Mysterio. He's not up there. He is down there.
What are we talking about? Who did he say that about? Eddie Guerrero?
Yeah. Wait, you don't
I
know?
don't remember that.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, okay. Maybe I'll cut this in post. But Randy told Rey Mysterio that Eddie is not up there. Eddie's down there.
Jesus.
That was
That's
that was like, and
ridiculous.
it's like weeks too. Like after, it's like
That's horrible.
you
Remember
you,
when
you
weeks after Roman Reigns got diagnosed with cancer, they made one of his best friends go on TV and insult him for it? That's
yeah, he said
cool.
something about like, what did he say?
It was the gist of it, I think, was that like Roman Reigns is weak because he has cancer, but I don't remember it verbatim.
Yeah, and apparently that was also after like when he was on the Jericho podcast, he was saying that there were also some other lines that he fought to delete. This is after
Delete, yes,
the censored version, where he
great.
disagreed in some of the lines that were written for him. So we can only imagine what was there originally.
I'm only ever gonna remember that run from Dean with him just being so disgusted by the stinky fans, so he wore a gas mask. It was so bad. It was remarkably bad. I don't know how they messed that up.
The only thing I remember from that run is that Dean sat down in a chair in the middle of the ring, and then Nia Jax came out, and they had a
Oh shit!
they had a
You're
stare down.
right.
They had a stare down, and it seems to be implying that he's about to go into a feud with Nia Jax.
Yeah, and then they had 2 matches on house shows, and then they just never brought it up again.
Wait,
So that's cool.
did they actually have 2 matches on house shows?
Yeah, they had. I mean, either it was scheduled for 2 house shows, or and it got canceled. But I think they actually happened. I'm 90% certain they actually happened.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's right.
Oh man.
Oh my God, that's another major event in wrestling that's sort of changed the foundation forever in the last 6 months. Is that Undertaker started a cameo, which
Oh
I don't know,
wow.
man. I don't know how much bigger you get than that.
Yeah. Do you think uh Johnny can perhaps pay the Undertaker to say the word to all my hog dippers out there?
I think so. I think so.
I,
I honestly think if he does end up doing more cameos, because I think he only did like a limited run of 1,000,
yeah.
that Deadlock would absolutely put money towards that if they did a second round. You know that.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see this week? Chaos Project versus. Wait, who is it that they fought this week?
Oh, you already know who they fought.
Okay, I
Yeah,
already
they
know.
fought the team of Hangman Adam Page and the Carney Matt Hardy.
Oh yeah, and I think it was when he got Paige in the corner. Mr. Luther was screaming in his ear.
Whoa.
Mr. Luther said, "You're no hawk dipper."
I couldn't even try to do an impression of that because the octave he raises his voice to when he screams hog dippers is just, it's inhuman. I don't know how he did it, but
I mean,
props to Dr. Luther.
said with the true passion, only befitting of a hog dipper. That is, like if you're not a real hog dipper, that's not an octave you can reach. You know.
No, you have to be true to it if you want to hit that octave. That's absolutely right. You already know.
Talk
You
about
already know, Tiger.
talk about Undertaker recently. Undertaker interview actually
Holy Scooby Doo.
on a podcast with Mr. Joe Rogan. Undertaker
Oh, cool.
said some controversial statements that got a lot of emotions to run high, got a lot of people arguing on the internet. And do you know what this is, JC?
I mean, I'm aware of the fact that Mark Calloway was on Joe Rogan's show. Did he go by The Undertaker when he was on the show? I feel like Joe isn't too huge on like gimmicks, right?
No, but I think like Undertaker is actually like he was a fan of the Undertaker. Like he was young
Oh
enough to have been
wow.
a fan of
Okay.
the Undertaker. So
Okay.
on the like YouTube, they were like tagging the videos as the Undertaker talks about stuff. They weren't tagging the videos as in like Mark Calloway, you know. So I think
Oh,
Joe.
my apologies. I meant to say Mark McCool, by the way. But continue,
Oh, okay,
continue.
that's right. Anyway, but there was comes to a conversation about what the Undertaker thinks about modern day wrestling and the current WWE roster, and the adjective Mr. Calloway used to describe the current roster is SAWFT. Oh wait, can we no longer make that reference?
I mean, I think there have been so many more incidents that have occurred since they left the company that, like, I don't know, they're sort of in the clear, aren't they? Because
I don't know.
well, I think Enzo got fired for claimed sexual assault that ended up being more just, I think they actually fired him because he was hanging out with people that were doing cocaine, you know? And so it's like,
And
I
Big
don't
Cass
know.
was fired for losing in a shoot fight to Daniel Bryan.
That's right. That's right. For breaking a door on a bus, I guess following Carmella everywhere, and then that as well. All three of those things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just the level of offense that happened back then compared to all the stuff we saw at the beginning of quarantine, I feel like we can make soft references. Like I feel comfortable going out into the street in my soft shirt again. You know?
Yeah, sure. Okay. But
Yeah, I probably can't wear my Velveteen Dream shirts, but Enzo and Cass,
you know,
sure.
it's funny because that's the shirt that I when I first met you, that's the shirt that you had on.
Oh shit!
That was why
That
I
is.
said, "Hey, you're a wrestling fan."
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. This friendship was forged on on the Velveteen Dream's name. That's
Oh man.
beautiful. That's really something.
Okay. But what do you think personally of this situation? Because a lot of people have shared their opinions.
Are we talking about Enzo and Cass?
No, we're talking
or
about
the Velveteen Dream,
we're talking
or
about
the Undertaker.
the soft comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I like that. Was it like Roman Reigns who said in an interview afterwards that it was an old man trying to sound like a gangster? I thought that was pretty funny.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah, I think he did.
Okay.
Which is
But
pretty wonderful.
I actually found a couple of interviews with other people that were reacting to this, and one of them is indeed Mr. Reigns, the head of the table.
Oh shit.
He
The
says
tribal chief.
He says that because people have seen more nowadays, you know, back in the day you say, oh, a drop kick, you can end the match, but because people have seen more nowadays, we gotta do more to be impressive, and that's point one. Point two is he says that he feels like he says, quote, "It's strange. I really feel like he misspoke because Mark is a really good guy. He's very knowledgeable. Obviously, he has a ton of respect for the business." And then he throws in, Goldberg is just Goldberg. Who cares? But he's talking about.
That's true.
Okay, I think Goldberg
That's
said
pretty
that
true.
he agreed. This is towards Goldberg said that he agreed with the Undertaker's point. So he says, "Who cares? This is Roman." But he's talking about guns and knives in the locker room. Come on, you guys travel just like we did. Did you really get that stuff through security? He was referencing. Undertaker said that the Undertaker said that back in the day when he goes into the locker room, a bunch of guys spinning dudes with guns and knives.
Just have crack pipes laying around, needles everywhere. It was insane.
With the slapjacks and the blackjacks and the 8 balls.
That's right. That's right.
And Roman's like, it's like, really that you got all that past security? I think there was a miscommunication there. I think Roman's thinking about like the Kurt Angle era. Like I think Roman's talking about Attitude Era, but I think the Undertaker's talking about like NWA stuff when he was like Ming Mark Calloway, you know?
Oh shit! One half of the Twin Towers.
Oh
Mean
yeah.
Mark.
Yes. So I think the Undertaker was talking about like back in the territories, people had like knives and guns in their pockets, but Roman's like,
Oh shit! I always have a gun in my pocket.
Roman,
It's just
Roman's like, well, that couldn't be the case because in the Attitude Era they had like, well, he didn't say the Attitude Era, but he said back in the day they also had metal detectors. I don't know how those guys get all their knives and guns.
yeah.
But yeah, but I think they are talking about two different issues.
Also, what the hell? Didn't what's his face? Not Bruce Mitchell. Well, that's a journalist. What Bruce Pritchard in 2006? Didn't he sneak a gun backstage and he got fired because of it? Because Stephanie found out he had a gun.
I don't remember this, but I do remember that back in the day there was an incident with Sid, Psycho Sid and Sid
Shit,
Vicious.
Psycho Sid Vicious.
Yeah,
Sid Udy or
I think
or
he had a
Frank
problem.
Udy.
He had a problem with WCW's manager or owner back in the day. I forgot who it was, but basically
Probably the cat, Ernest Miller.
No, I think the shoot manager.
Oh damn.
I think they were like had an argument, and the guy was like, "Hey, if you're gonna threaten me, I have a weapon here in my desk. We'll see who draws first, brother."
The hell?
Yeah, and then Sid just left. But he also was in
He
another.
just left.
Yeah, he was also in another knife incident. I think that was, you know about that one, right?
Knife incident with Psycho Sid?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Did a wrestler try to knife Psycho Sid?
Stabbing. There was some sort of stabbing. incident.
Okay. Well, I have no goddamn clue.
There was a there was a they had a okay, yes, it's Mr. Sid Vicious and one
Oh.
and the only Arn Anderson had a shoot fight with scissors.
Wait, with scissors. It wasn't even knives.
No, it
They
wasn't
just had
knife.
cutting scissors.
Maybe Undertaker
That's
maybe Undertaker forgot to include that there's also guys with scissors in the back.
yeah, guys running around with school supplies. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was the yeah. So look at that photo of Arn Anderson, man. What a handsome man.
What a handsome man is right.
Oh, but
That's absolutely
talking
right.
about Mr. Arn Anderson also waiting on this. Basically,
Oh, good.
he said what he said, which I thought was fair. He was like,
Wait, when we say this, do we mean he weighed in on the scissor fight?
No,
or
he
he
weighed-
weighed in on the Undertaker?
no,
Okay.
he waiting on the Undertaker's comments on the
Okay.
current state of wrestling, and he said that, which I thought what he said was fair. He was like, well, okay, back in the day, people were like way more serious because like job security is a real issue, but he says that like nowadays there's a more safe and healthy environment for everyone to prosper, which I think is a fair stance.
Yeah,
right?
well, talking about job security, Tiger, what the hell happened to Lars Sullivan and Steve Cutler this week?
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get to them. We'll get to them.
Okay.
Because the most impressive, most interesting statement is the one I'm about to say. It comes from Mr. Bobby Lashley.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
My man.
on the ESPN's podcast, Cheap Heat, with Peter Rosenberg.
Oh, my God. Former 24/7 champion Peter
Absolutely.
Rosenberg.
Absolutely. Former 24/7 champion Mr. Peter Rosenberg.
Dude, remember that time Peter Rosenberg and R-Truth had sex live on TV? That was crazy.
Is it right next to or in the same bed as Edge and Lita?
I think so. It was preserved all those years later.
Yeah. So Mr. Bobby Lashley says, "Yeah, I don't want to say I agree with him completely. Actually, I can because it's Taker. I can say I agree with him. So I agree with him. You know what? That's what the Hurt Business is about. I mean, that's why we came about because we were like, what are we? And I was like, we're different from this generation. Our generation came up. When I was in OVW about to go up on the road, everybody was warning us. They're like, man, JBL, Chris Benoit, Bob Holly, you have Undertaker, you have Booker T, all these guys, not one of them are punks. Fit Finlay, William Regal, not one of these guys have an ounce of punk in them. And then he went on to talk
Wow.
about how he wants to beat up some of the new guys, and if they want to quit,
Damn.
they should quit. And then the most interesting part is then the interviewer's like, "Hey, but Mr. Peter Rosenberg asked, who do you think should be in the Hurt Business? Do you think there's any male or female participants that you want in on the Hurt Business?" And,
Yeah.
And Mr. Lashley said, I think when I think of tough bastards, when I think of who have the same mentality as the Hurt Business, number one name pops up is Mickey James.
Great. Wonderful.
Now,
She.
this is not
Oh.
a knock on the toughness of Miss James, but rather
No, we would never.
or her career or her accomplishments in wrestling. But you don't say, when somebody says, hey, I need a doctor, right? I need a world-renowned doctor to fix the COVID problem. You don't say, you know what? I think Elon Musk would be a good candidate because
My favorite doctor.
maybe he had some business expertise, but he's not a doctor. This is more like that, where Miss James was never presented as like a hard hitting badass. Was she ever? Does she ever have that reputation about her?
Not at any point in her career,
I don't
Tiger.
think.
I hate
I
to
don't
inform
think-
you.
I think she is more of presented as like a professional. doing everything, especially going through that weird period where they're like, making fun of her weight and all that shit.
Oh, Piggy
Yeah, it was
James,
really
my girl.
really fucked up stuff. But if you're gonna say like, okay, I think I want a female badass on the team, you could have said like Asuka. I would have believed you.
Said half the NXT roster.
Yeah.
Like almost every single woman down there is more fit to join that group. Mercedes Martinez, Mia Yim, someone I don't know.
Shayna Baszler, I don't know. So he's like, okay, this is the quote, okay. First part, we don't necessarily need anyone because I mean we have everything and it takes to get everything that we want. However, I think there's some people on the roster that have kind of the same mentality as we have, the older school mentality. There's a lot of names that be thrown around, male or female. I like them both. There's a lot of names that be thrown around. Mickey James come back with our era.
Mickey James.
So Mickey James had that old Hurt Business style from before.
Yeah, that WWE 08 attitude. That's what you want.
A strong
That's
style.
Cool.
Strong style Mickey James. And then the second name Mr. Lashley brought up is you have Naomi. She has that whoop a girl up attitude also.
But what about Raquel Gonzalez? How about her? She fits in.
What about
What about Rhea Ripley?
Yeah, there's a lot of
anyone. Literally any female.
And then last thing he said was that there's a lot of people who come up to us and say, "Hey man, I'm gonna be a part of the Hurt Business," whether they're joking around or not. I think they're really serious. What an interview.
I think they are too. I really do. I like to imagine though that they do have that old school mentality. So they at all times they're walking around backstage with a gun in one pocket and a pair of scissors in the other. So just skipping security lines at the venues. It's great. It's great.
And also like just shitting on anyone backstage who's playing video games because apparently
they just pull out the cords.
Yeah.
Smash TVs backstage.
Yeah. It's like you have but then people are playing Switch, right? They're playing the Switch and they just knock the Switch out of their hands. It's like it's embarrassing to play handhelds in public.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn it. Here, hold on to this pair of scissors. I got an extra pair.
Yeah. So are we saying the Hurt Business are the self-appointed locker room leaders of Monday Night Raw?
Man,
I'm pretty certain.
Okay, but
that's wonderful. I'm glad.
That'll be an actual murder though. So we don't touch that. We just threaten people with potential harm. We don't actually use the weapons.
The Hurt Business, you mean?
No, I just mean like with the scissors and all.
Oh, it's just for show. It's just to intimidate people.
It's just to maintain. It's more about being a badass. It's more about maintaining that badass attitude.
I see.
It's more about finding yourself, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the Hurt Business are just a few guys trying to, like you said, find themselves. They're on a spiritual journey. That's how I tend to look at it, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think so. Well, I'm glad the Undertaker could set off such a meaningful conversation, Tiger, and that he could open so much dialogue in 2021 about what it means to be tough in a modern day locker room.
Yeah.
It's pretty profound.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I tend to think so. But I want to get to it, Tiger. I want to get to what I mentioned earlier.
Okay, please.
A glaring absence in the SmackDown locker room now, I'd say, because I'm very familiar with it. I frequent it often. Are the likes of Steve Cutler and Lars goddamn Sullivan. Where'd they go?
Mr. Steve Cutler. Actually, I have to sort of look Mr. Steve Cutler up to.
Dude, there's no way I'm gonna remember who the fuck Steve Cutler was in 2 years.
Okay, hold on.
Steve Cutler. No,
Steve Cutler is part of the Forgotten Sons, right?
No, I know that much. He's been part of the Unforgotten Sons for a little while, but
hold on. What happened to the Forgotten Sons?
Okay, do you want to recap what happened to the Unforgotten Sons?
Please.
Okay, so COVID started kicking off. then all the wrestlers were like, fuck that. I'm not showing up. I don't want to be on TV. Roman Reigns dropped out of WrestleMania. All these people weren't showing up. So Zelina Vega started taking up about an hour out of the 3 hours of Raw every week. And then on SmackDown, they were like, well, we need new tag teams. So they brought up Steve Cutler, Blake Murphy. No, what's his face? Wesley Blake and Jackson Riker as the Unforgotten Sons. And then like a month later, Jackson Riker was like, nothing but respect for my president, and just started raving about Trump. And then he got taken off of TV. And then Jackson Riker came back with Elias. Wesley Blake is just hanging out. And I guess our boy Steve Cutler's gone. He got clipped.
Oh, he got clipped? Okada came?
He got clipped.
Okada
Damn.
It was the money
I'm
clip?
pretty certain.
Oh, shit.
I'm pretty certain that's what happened.
Oh,
they had to release him from his contract so they could make room.
Damn.
That makes sense. That makes sense for me.
Yeah,
It seems like a fair trade-off. They're sending Steve Cutler to NJPW, and they're sending over Okada. That's pretty sick.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I feel very sorry for Mr. Wesley Blake.
Wesley Blake, don't be. He married Sarah Lee from Tough Enough. When I was 14, I wanted to marry Sarah Lee. You know, he's got it. He's got things made.
Sarah Lee. Let me.
Sarah Lee, like the bread. She was the female winner of Tough Enough with Josh the Yeti.
Sarah Lee, WWE.
Sarah Lee, she in her audition video for Tough Enough, she wore a lumberjack outfit and she chopped wood.
Oh, I saw that.
She didn't really have much of a character on the show, but
why can't she just be a lumberjack?
Why can't she?
Yeah, she should have been just being a lumberjack on the show.
Because on Tough Enough, they wanted people to not like play characters. They wanted it to be like a reality show, and
Damn.
it sort of was.
You know what? I bet Sarah Lee has that old school mentality that Bobby Lashley.
Damn, I think so too.
Yeah, like backstage with the axe, you know, like.
They got to get her out of retirement for the Hurt Business.
Damn, yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. Yeah. They're dropping the ball here, WWE. What the fuck?
You think? Mercedes was removed from Retribution because she wanted to be in the Hurt Business?
I think that's probably what it was.
Oh, man.
I think so. And then right when she was about to join, they realized that Mickie James actually was still under contract with WWE, so they said fuck that, and she ended up back in NXT. It's really sad. Wow. It's a really disturbing story. It's distressing to say the least. But so you were saying you feel bad for Wesley Blake.
Yes.
And I never really got the reason why, because I just went off about Sarah Lee, which I stand by.
But like that's a little different, you know. You can't live off the success of your partner.
I mean, you can. That a lot of people do that.
I'm saying like personally, at least. I wouldn't.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, you don't know what gives Wesley Blake his fulfillment. Maybe just having his family and hanging out with Sarah, that's enough to make him a happy man, and maybe. He doesn't care about wrestling.
Maybe.
He doesn't care about any professional pursuits. He wants to hang out with his kids and his very beautiful, beautiful wife.
Maybe what should have happened is when Eddie Murphy, not Ed.
The Yeti, Josh Bronson.
When Mr. Buddy Murphy decided that he was gonna copy off Kenny Omega's moves and go pursue a singles career, maybe he should have copied off Okada's moves. Maybe then he wouldn't get clipped because he would have been the one doing the money clip.
You're right. You're absolutely right. He should have had that foresight. Yeah. And honestly, it's his fault for all this happening now. It's terrifying. What a sad day. Well, just to clarify, Wesley Blake is still with the WWE, is he not?
That's a good question.
Thank you. I was just thinking that. Okay, remember, whenever I think about Steve Cutler, I think about for a good month or two when he was
in February 4th of 2021. Cutler was. Oh, that's Cutler.
Yeah, Cutler was released 3 days ago. We're talking about goddamn Wesley Blake, one half of Blake and Murphy.
Blake and Cutler made their return on the December 4th episode of SmackDown, known as the Knights of the Lone Wolf. for
They
working
had a
along.
show themed after Baron Corbin.
No, they are the knights of the Lone Wolf. They're
Oh
his
shit! They
knights.
protect Baron Corbin.
Yeah, the okay. Hear me out. They are the knights of the Lone Wolf. Okay.
How does that go? How does that creative meeting go? Where it's like, hey, you know this character we have who's hated by everyone? His gimmick is that everyone hates him and that he has no friends and that he's a lone wolf. We call him the lone wolf every week. Imagine if he had bodyguards and friends that hung around him every week. Wouldn't that be cool for the lone wolf?
I think it was the same meeting that they had in I don't there was okay, I don't know if you know any Mortal Kombat lore, the video game.
I'm very well read.
At one point they were they were a stable in Mortal Kombat called the Order of Chaos.
Oh, the Order of Chaos.
Yes.
I don't like that. I mean, I get it because it's they didn't quite use the definition of order that we're thinking of, but a little bit more thought could have been put in there, you know?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe
Tiny bit.
more than nothing. So all these like chaos aligned people got together and formed an order.
That's good. That's good. They're gonna work together
Yeah.
to enforce chaos. That's great stuff. That's wonderful.
To enforce
I'm sure their group worked out very well.
to enforce uniform chaos across all.
That's right. That's absolutely
yeah.
right. Homogeneous chaos. That's what we want.
So I guess Wesley Blake is now the only knight of the Lone Wolf.
No, that's so sad. I hope they still call him just the Knights of the Lone Wolf.
Just like how they called the Knights of Ren in the new Star Wars series, and then they showed up for 2 minutes and were killed, all of them.
Damn. So sad. I don't want Wesley to be dead. I don't want him murdered. And I don't want him clipped, so to speak. That'd be devastating.
But maybe Okada's still hanging around backstage, so we shouldn't.
Maybe.
But
I mean, I'd be on the lookout if I'm Wesley Blake. But also, I think they should just ditch the name Wesley Blake altogether and just call him the Knight of the Lone Wolf. And that's his entire gimmick. That's his whole name. That's his everything.
Should call him Saraya Knight.
That too. That's always on the table. Always an option.
But let's talk about Mr. Sullivan for a second. Mr. Lars Sullivan.
God damn. I was thinking about Kevin Sullivan when you said that.
Was that Kevin Sullivan?
Which, by the way,
who showed up?
what happened?
On the wedding?
Oh, I was trying to put together in my head who that man was, but I think you're right, aren't you?
No, wait, that's Sinister Minister. Or
I don't
are they
know.
the same person?
Oh no, Kevin Sullivan looks like shit nowadays. No, this can't be him, can it? No, that definitely wasn't him. No, we're good. That was not Kevin Sullivan.
Okay, that's just
That was whoever you said.
That's Abyss's manager in TNA.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no. Oh shit, I forgot about Lars. No,
I was asking you
when you said what about Mr. Sullivan, I thought you meant Kevin again. I'm sorry. Oh, no, Lars, I don't know. Well, I thought he was going to get fired like a year and a half ago because like, I don't know, because it was reported back originally that he was supposed to debut against like John Cena, and then he had an anxiety attack the day of the show, and then he ended up going home and not being able to perform. And I thought like from immediately that moment, there's no way Vince McMahon is a man sympathetic to anxiety and like anxiety disorders and would be okay with someone using that as an excuse, quote unquote, not to work. And I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I think that is probably definitely how Vince McMahon would look at it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, there's no way a guy who deals with this is gonna make it there. And then it also came out like a year later that he did gay porn. And then I thought like, oh, there's definitely no way this guy is making it there. And then it turns out 6 months later, the guy is not there anymore.
Which, I think, okay. I don't think should be a reason. It should be factored into a reason of whether or not you want to hire somebody if they ever did porn before. I think that sucks. Some people, I think that sucks. But yeah, go ahead.
Like imagine if it just came out like tomorrow that Roman Reigns did gay porn. What would happen? Like, does WWE change anything, or do they just
I mean,
they let it be?
I think if it's Roman, then they would be like they would fear like backlash if they had done anything to him because they
Yeah.
had backlash already with Roman because we're specifically talking about Roman, but because remember previously there were some like stories about how Roman had heat for not wanting to work COVID while having cancer.
Oh, I sort of remember that. Yeah.
And then people are like, well, how could you blame this man who's predisposed to a lot of problems how could you ask him to work COVID, right? And then they're like quieted down or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's Roman, if somebody big enough, they probably wouldn't be able to do anything to them.
Dude, when is wrestling going to legalize steroids? Right? I feel like this is a hill to die on. What's so wrong with steroids?
It kills people.
No, no, it kills people when it's used in addition to like painkillers and in other prescription
But
medications
okay,
and alcohol.
but it also has other problem like roid rage and all that, and it fucks with your like health and all that stuff.
I thought like roid rage was the combination of roids with other chemical substances in your body. Like I thought like steroids in and of.
I'm not a doctor, so I can't really.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, once they develop steroids that don't make people kill other people, then I think wrestlers should just have free reign, you know?
Yeah, I mean, not wrestlers. You're talking about like Olympic people. I remember.
No, Olympics is an actual sport. Olympics I can see why like you don't want them doing steroids because then it's like what are we really doing here? You know, unless everyone does steroids, but then you can't force that on everyone.
But
So
the
I don't
problem is,
know.
everybody already does steroids in the Olympics.
Really?
Have you ever seen a documentary about like how the entire Russian team did steroids like for a whole
Yeah,
year?
but then they got like kicked out.
Yeah. But that's not like that's the standard, you know? Like it's not like it's just that they got kicked out because they got found out.
Ah, they got caught.
Yeah. So I feel like
Huh.
every unless you're like not a national team, unless you're like an individual
Hmm.
just like participating like you're on your own, which you can also do steroids, but I feel like it's very likely that you're gonna take steroids. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know then. Maybe it's not a hill we die on. But even still, I'm open to the idea of there being a future full of roided up wrestlers
Oh,
that are allowed to
you're talking about
legally get along.
the Dark Olympics is you can cheat as much and do as much steroids as you want.
That's right. That's maybe they can put like a stipulation on it where you can do steroids and you can compete, but like you can't win any championships if you do it, you know? So like they're still there, they're still having fun, but they don't get the titles, they don't get the accolades.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
and then you get to do commercials, but only for steroids.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the only commercial sponsors you're allowed.
Oh man.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I don't know, man. Why did I start talking about steroids? Which, by the way, you mentioned actually. Never mind. Let's talk about steroids some more. You
Okay.
mentioned roid rage as like being a thing, right? But like, does roid rage really exist? And again, I'm a completely
Oh
uninformed
wow.
person, but I just think back to the Chris Benoit situation, where like at the time everyone pushed steroids. It was roid rage. It was all the stuff, and that was the popular narrative. And then like over the next 10 years, it came out. Well, actually, that was a lie, and it's really because the guy had so much trauma to his head, like that he didn't function like a normal person because he had the brain of an 80-year-old senile man. Which it's like,
Maybe it's just
yeah,
that it's
that makes
just
sense.
it's a combination of a bunch of both because uh, it does like the reason why steroids work is they directly affect hormones and hormones
Hmm.
does affect your mood and all that. So I think it might be a little bit of both, and in the long term, it just like all the
Yeah.
bad stuff just
Well,
comes
like
up on
that's what I
top.
mean too. Like, because I think you're right about it being a combination of things, where like the head damage, the brain damage, obviously that's not great. That's going to lead to some messed up stuff. The steroids, I guess, theoretically leads to messed up stuff, but then you mix the both of them too with the man's addiction, and then it's like, okay, this isn't a great formula.
Yeah,
We're not heading down a good path.
just like you, maybe he should have quit wrestling.
Yeah, I think so.
To
I absolutely think so.
preserve their good mental health. But I don't know. It's too late to talk about that now. So let's talk about what happened on AEW this week, since that's like the only
Um,
real wrestling content that we can actually talk about.
yeah, that's the only one I watched.
Yeah, let's talk about
Well,
it.
actually, if you want to, just one last thing about everything else in wrestling. Did you see they signed a miniature Brock Lesnar?
No.
Yeah, there's this guy. He looks exactly like Brock Lesnar. He has some tattoos. He has the haircut. He has the facial structure. He's the body type rather. And they hired him, and he looks like Brock Lesnar, but 30 years younger.
Who's what's this guy called?
I don't know what he's called. I just know he looks like Brock Lesnar, and that's what all the wrestling journalists, quote unquote, are saying is,
Who
"Hey,
was
this guy looks a lot like Brock Lesnar."
who hired this guy?
Um, I don't know. Who's their talent scout? Is it William Regal? Maybe him.
But what was the but wouldn't okay, weird.
He was also hanging out with Eva Marie.
Parker
So
Bodrux.
love Parker Bodrix.
Is that what he's called?
I have no clue. I have to pull up his name because I don't have a goddamn clue.
Okay.
Boudreaux is probably how I'd pronounce it, but I don't know.
Okay.
He's 6'4". I think that's taller than Brock, actually.
Wow. I mean, if he
Oh shit! There's a photo of him side by side with Brock. He is taller.
so I mean, if he can't do a shooting star, then I don't know.
What's the point?
Yeah.
He's wearing a sports bra in one of these photos. What's up with that?
Dude, that's where all these shooters get their powers from.
Oh, it's from their sports bras.
Yeah, like when the Kurt Angle gets his titties out, that's where he's at maximum potential.
Oh shit! So you think Parker Boudreaux takes off his sports bra and then that's how he powers up?
Yeah. See, like Matt Riddle
Pretty sick.
should have just had something to wear to cover up
He
his
has the flip flops.
Okay, maybe that's how he works.
The feet. That's disgusting. I don't like that. I don't like that theory
Well,
at all.
he does come out with a shirt, and then he takes his shirt
Oh,
off.
that's true.
So
That's true.
So maybe he's always in peak form in his matches.
And then the flip flops are just for show.
The flip flops are a misdirection to make other people think.
Oh shit!
To make
That's
people
pretty
think,
insane.
Yeah, to make people think that that's where the power comes from, but no, it's actually the same as everybody else. It's in your titties.
That's pretty wild. You know what sucks about wrestling, and it probably sucks so much for like wrestlers that are creative, is that ideas like that, where like you want to quote unquote misdirect your competition, they theoretically only work once in wrestling because you're only ever going to wrestle with the same people, like in the same group of people in the same company over and over again ad nauseum for years on end. So like you can never really surprise anybody for an extended period of time. Whereas like if you're like an actual fighter, you have like a private training camp, you fight like maybe 4 times a year, and like you can do some real weird shit that no one's going to expect. But in wrestling, it doesn't work like that because you'd have to come up with like a new thing every single night, and it's just impossible. Do you understand what I'm saying, or am I?
Yeah,
am
but
I
you
just
can also leave the shit for like you can always say, hey, my gimmick is I will always catch you by surprise. But you can just leave the big spots to the pay-per-views.
I guess
Every
so.
single
But then you have to
pay-per-view,
put trust in WWE to only book you in pay-per-view matches. You know?
No, like on Raw and SmackDown, I'm not tagging in. Somebody else can do the work.
I'm not tagging in.
Yeah,
I will simply stand here on the apron.
Yeah, it's just run some
Makes sense.
spots, and I'll do the headlock, push through the ropes, drop down, leapfrog.
Yeah, leapfrog.
Yeah, I'll do
Panic
that.
switch.
And then
Okay.
I'll do my taunt, and somebody else can pin somebody else, and I can just go home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You gotta protect yourself, and on the pay-per-views, you bust out the new gimmicks, and you win with it. You gotta be booked to win because you got a new gimmick, right? So
the answer is really just to start your own wrestling promotion and have complete creative control and just execute on this character.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the only way.
yeah, I heard this guy James Darnell is gonna try to do that.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good luck. Props to him.
Yeah.
Props to him.
He's gonna be.
AEW Tiger.
Yeah.
All Elite Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
This past Wednesday, we had the pleasure of watching Beach Break, a show named after Orange Cassidy's finishing move, which did occur on the show at least once. So
I
that's
think
good.
twice actually. Somebody else also hit the beach break.
Oh my God, someone else at the Beach Break?
I
That's pretty fucked up.
don't remember who it is though.
I really hope it was someone that was on TV after the wedding, because if they hit the Beach Break before that spot, that takes away a lot of the momentum there. You know?
Okay, let me check who was it. Maybe I
Yeah,
think it
let's
might
check.
be during the I think it might be during the Lance Archer Eddie Kingston match.
I think it's probably safest to rewatch the entire show just to make sure.
Yeah, live in the entire show.
Yes, live right now. But
Yeah.
while you do that, I'll talk a little bit about how the show started, Tiger, because I honestly barely remember. I think it started with like Jungle Boy and his dinosaur and his little buddy coming out, and they were in a battle royal, a big tag team battle royal that for some reason the tag team champions were in, even though it was to determine number one contenders.
For some
Which,
reason, also Inner Circle has 3 people.
yeah, they had 3 people, and then also too, I think it was Matt Jackson, or yeah, I think it was Matt was eliminated pretty early into the match, but the commentators didn't want to confirm he was eliminated, so they just sort of like didn't mention it. Did you notice that or no?
I noticed that like by the time I realized there's only one young buck in the ring.
You just realized by process of elimination.
Yeah,
There's one young buck here.
and then there's like when you like look at it next to each other, you realize that in this match there's one person representing their team with one person. There's another team that's represented by 3 people. So I don't know what's going on in this.
I mean, I enjoyed the match, to be fair. I don't want to complain about it because I thought it was a real fun match. But
Yeah.
I was thoroughly confused by, A, why the Young Bucks were there. Because when I saw them come out, I had to double check and question whether or not they were the champions, which they ended up being the champions. So I still don't completely understand it. But then also, when Matt was eliminated, I I had the question again, are they even in this match? Because they didn't announce him as eliminated. So it was just a thoroughly confusing experience until the very end when poor Sammy Guevara got screwed over by that goddamn Chris Jericho. And I think Chris ended up winning because he eliminated like
Yeah.
one of the guys from Top Flight to win the match. So he and his loyal partner, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, are going on to, is it like Revolution, to fight the Young Bucks?
Yeah.
What a match, I guess. I mean, it could be good, but also, I don't know.
I think the
don't think
Young
I've
Bucks
enjoyed
are gonna lose the titles because they were in the storyline where they are like being considered the lesser of the tag teams between them and
Gotcha.
Gallows and Anderson. They're like distracted by all this Kenny
Oh,
nonsense.
I gotcha.
So I think what's gonna happen is the Young Bucks are gonna drop the titles back to, because if they're gonna keep doing the Inner Circle, the Inner Circle needs a reason to exist, right?
Hmm.
Beyond just having segments every week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if the tag team championships on Jericho and MJF are necessarily the way to achieve that purpose.
I'm
but
also glad that they are the tag team like they are the tag team of the Inner Circle, even though
oh yeah, the official tag team.
even though they
That's-
had a tag team.
They actually had 2 tag teams, and you know what? I was fully accepting of Lace X Gods. That one made a lot of sense to me. I would even be accepting of a 3rd tag team if Wardlow and Jake Hager teamed up, because that would be sick.
Yeah.
But they decided no more LAX, no more Lace X Gods. We're not going to put Wardlow with anyone. Instead, you get MJF and Jericho, and I guess we're supposed to like it.
I think it's that they want MGF to be consistently presented as a star.
You know what could be cool, and this is
And
a
they-
very
yeah,
unfleshed out
go-
idea,
go ahead.
is that like they could have Jericho have some sort of angle where he gets injured or whatever, and so they need a replacement, and he and Sammy end up winning the titles, MJF and Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think the long-term goal is to turn Sammy face.
Yeah, I think that could work toward it because I don't really want Sammy to ever be accepting of MJF, or at least when he is, that's when MJF turns on everyone. So it's I don't know. I'm sure they have an idea already in mind of how it's going to go and what they're all going to do. But by far, the most compelling thing inside all the inner circle right now is the MJF Sammy Guevara stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I think Sammy Guevara definitely like sort of distinct. I don't know, made the distinction of himself being like a, you know, irreplaceable part of the roster because like at the beginning like sort of he was sort of just like lower on the level of the inner
Yeah.
circle.
Like if I hadn't seen him in like Texas all like the years before he got signed,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference between him and Kip Sabian, you know?
yeah.
Like there's no way.
So yeah, but which I'm glad that Sammy's like made a name for it, and especially after the recent Twitter incident with one Mr. T Bar,
Oh damn. I hate it when people steal my finisher. That sucks.
and then FTR went your finisher.
Damn. Which by the way, like sure Dijakovic is like a dick on Twitter sometimes, and he comes off as like a little bit of a doofus. But and as much as I love FTR, and they are like probably one of my favorite tag teams ever, they're really dorks on social media. You know,
Well,
like
but the
they're
problem
not
is,
cool.
but the problem is they never pretended to be cool. Remember the promo on AEW where they're like, "We're just huge marks." Remember when he said, we're just big marks for Tully and for
Mm-hmm.
right for
For Arn,
Arn, yeah.
yeah, dude, why is Arn still on TV? Why hasn't he just gone away? I've had to put up with a year of television and the destruction of my love for Cody Rhodes for this man to be on TV every week. And I don't get it. I don't get what he adds.
Okay,
I
I
don't
felt
get
like
how he's contributed to any story. I mean, I'm happy that the Jungle Boy thing happened, but that's about it.
70% of the destruction of Cody Rhodes is on himself, but
No, I'd say a good 90% of it is Arn Anderson, and then a good
oh wow.
10% is the neck tattoo. Everything else, out of everyone's control. But neck tattoo and Arn, that's the beginning of it all.
No, I think it's when he tweeted that the blonde and black hair thing was supposed to be a reference to the death and resurrection of Superman. I think
Oh,
that's when it fell off. Yeah.
yeah, maybe a little. Also, sort of sucked when Lance Archer lost to him. That wasn't super cool, but
Yeah, and it
it's
also
it's
it also
whatever.
sort of sucked when Darby Allin was running the angle where the network doesn't want him to be their champion, and then Cody came out and said TNT loves you,
What are you
Darby.
talking about? You're so stupid. Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I also love how they came up with the angle in one episode and they were like, hey, your major pay-per-view match, we're gonna figure this out now. And that's what they went with. It was poorly done.
That was a love.
Very
They should have
poorly done.
they should have later on. They should have been like actually TNT was gaslighting Darby this whole time to
That'd be pretty
recover.
good.
Ah
Yeah,
man,
I think so. Maybe he goes too extreme in his street fight with the Team Taz, and then just the network can't support it. TBS has to take away his title.
yeah. And then Sting gets awarded the title.
Wait, is it TBS?
No, it's TNT.
I don't know why I said TBS. Never mind. Yeah, TNT. TNT has to take away his title.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Have you ever realized that Sting and Darby are such hoodlums? Because, wow, they are hoodlums, Tiger. Don't you think?
Is that what Taz said this week?
No, I'm referring to maybe it was 2 weeks ago that this happened, but the two of them were just smashing out
Oh,
windows in a warehouse, calling themselves hoodlums over and over again. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever watched. They want to present these guys as like these street fighters. Like, I mean, I can sort of buy the Sting one a little bit because he's a
but the,
vigilante, right? Like theoretically, he works on the street and he like beats up criminals with his bat. So
wait,
it's like okay,
but the vigilante
but
thing
Darby's
was
just.
created by WWE.
I mean, I think it Wait, he was never the vigilante before that?
Yeah, they only call him the vigilante because he interfered in that match where the authorities used bullshit to win, and then he helped Dolph Ziggler get the pin at the end.
This, oh, that's unfortunate. That's one of the perks of having started watching wrestling in 2008, Tiger,
Yeah.
is that my entire image of Sting was defined by him losing to Triple H and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and
So,
also helping Dolph Ziggler win a match.
oh, oh,
Is
oh
that
boy.
the
So he's
last
not a
time?
vigilante?
Is that the last time Dolph Ziggler won a match?
I'm pretty certain it was. There's no way he's won since. There can't be. There can't be. But so he's not a vigilante. So never mind. I take back all of that. He's not. He's not actually doing that. He does not live on the
Oh,
streets.
maybe
But then neither does Darby. He's just a kid that rides a skateboard.
maybe
You
it's
know?
because back in you remember like I think at one point AEW had a collaboration with Street Fighter. Maybe that's why.
Uh
They're
huh.
like we're Street Fighters, we fight on the streets. We're
Oh damn. So they're
yeah,
finally getting to the sponsorship like a year and a half
yeah,
after it was relevant.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
good. That's very
I
cool.
think that's probably why. Yeah, but also
I think so too.
talking about Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler showed up on AEW this week and
I know. He was
fought
looking good, looking real thick.
fought Hangman Page. I was like, what the hell is going on here? What
It was a
can we
weird showing.
like a get a wrestling observers online um observation on Dolph Ziggler's contract deal? Like what's going
Oh,
on here?
just to see what's going on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dolph's been around long enough. You know, he can take some liberties, I
Really?
think.
Oh wow. He's just like how
Yeah.
how Chris took liberties and just never went back.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like that.
Oh wow.
Just like that. Remember that time Dolph Ziggler dated Nikki Bella and got really jealous of John Cena on Total Divas? Probably not. But it happened and I loved it. It was good. It was great.
Remember the time when we said that Dolph Ziggler could have joined the Bullet Club? Well, I think we're closer than ever to that.
No, are we? Great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But okay. So AEW Beach Break happened. That tag team match happened. Some other shit happened, and eventually we got to the what I've been waiting for months now. To be frank, Tiger
Yeah.
is the wedding celebration of Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian, with of course Miro there as the best man,
Mm-hmm.
Vicky Guerrero and Jerry Lynn there as I guess the parents, and then
Right.
Charles Taylor as the butler, who also brought a pair of handcuffs with him to the
Wait,
ring. So that's cool.
wait. So Vicky was on TV, but Nyla was not. Okay, got it. Got it.
Well, okay, just to be fair, in this situation, would you have preferred that Nyla Rose was part of the wedding? Or do you prefer that she had stayed in the back?
I would prefer it if she showed up on TV.
Yeah, I get that.
I
I get
I
there is
I,
an alternative to those two options that's much better.
I also would
But
prefer that Hikaru Shida showed up on TV instead of like doing vlogs in her bathroom on YouTube.
no, no. No, you can't anymore because she's back in Japan. So she's not going to be on him forever.
What, really? Oh my God!
Yeah.
Did she just big time the AEW women's
She
title?
big timed AEW. She vacated well, I guess she probably took the title with her, and so
Wow, just
there's
like
just gonna
Brock
be a big
Lesnar,
tournament for nothing.
just like Brock Lesnar back in the day was New Japan.
Imagine if that's how they wrote off the AEW women's title and just like completely focused on the NWA women's title, is they just have Hikaru leave to Japan with it, never come back, and then they just have the tournament for the NWA instead. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
I think it'd bring some prestige.
and then Hikaru Shida shows up in Stardom and trashes the title, puts the title in the trash can.
Oh, damn. Damn. I think that's probably what's gonna happen. So that's good. I'm glad that we're living in an era where we can again reference Enzo and Cass. That makes me very happy. Very, very happy.
Well,
But we,
the real reason why we can't do that is because both of them no longer exist in real life.
oh,
Remember
huh.
when there was an angle in which they shot on ROH, and
Yeah.
On the New Japan, and then Kota cuts to like Kota Ibushi looking very confused as to what happened.
Oh yeah. That was the same match where PCO got power bombed to the outside,
Yeah.
just on like concrete.
Just
It was the
raw.
most insane thing. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Oh
But
my god.
isn't that like when Tama Tonga first started hating Enzo? He thought he was just running in on his match, which I don't know. That's a pretty fair reason to hate someone.
And then
I think so.
and then like I think it was Bully Ray who was like just like shoot fighting with Enzo, and then a big ass came from the back and started hitting like worked blows, like clubbing blows on the back of Bully Ray, which he knows so.
Dude, that was such an insane show. Like all around, a fan in the front row got nailed in the face with a ladder during that show.
Yeah,
That was wonderful.
And then the crowd chanted, "That's a lawsuit."
They did. But by the way, that guy out of everyone in the front row really did deserve it because he was so annoying. It was very annoying.
Check his background. See if he ever wore a Green Lantern shirt. In the background.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, Tiger, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
I went to one wrestling show when I was home in Texas during break.
Yeah.
Because Thunder Rosa runs her promotion like in a town like right north of San Antonio.
Right.
And when I was there, like all the seats are socially distanced and all this stuff, and like you're only sitting with the people that like you're attending with, and in two little pods in front of me was All Elite Scooby-Doo in his Scooby-Doo costume. It was incredible.
Wow.
A celebrity sighting to say the least.
Wait, so it was a guy in a Scooby-Doo costume?
Yeah. All Elite Scooby-Doo is the guy who goes to AEW shows dressed as Scooby-Doo. And he was there at the Thunder Rosa show.
Oh, cool. So wait, so Thunder Rosa has her own promotion. So what goes on?
Yeah.
What goes on there?
It's just all women. It used to
Okay.
just be women from Texas, and now she brings in other people like not Velvet Sky. Is Velvet no, not Velvet Sky. Red Velvet's there.
Okay.
Big Swole's there.
Cool.
They bring in girls. Like a couple people WWE just signed were there at the last show.
You know, I think that it's good. Maybe she had a deal with AEW that's like she's like if you don't show these women on TV, they can't work over here.
That's right. I think so.
Okay.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa has legitimately got some of like the trainees from Texas that like work with her onto Dark. Which like that Maddie Rankowski girl, she's from Texas.
Okay.
And so is Jasmine Allure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Which Thunder Rosa also had a match actually this week
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
with Dr. Britt Baker.
So I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, Tiger, but I enjoyed the match. It wasn't one of my favorite matches ever, but I enjoyed it and I thought it was pretty cool.
It was
That's about it.
it was like something. Like it wasn't bad, I suppose. But I felt like Thunder Rosa didn't get to like show off a lot of her stuff, because like Britt Baker was Dr. Baker was very like on top of everything, and she at
Yeah.
some point hit like a weird like roll up into the lockjaw. I don't know if you remember this, but she hit like a grounded, like if imagine like a uranage, but the other person's on the ground and you roll into them. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about.
Dude, I really don't, but I'll take your word for it.
But okay, so Dr. Baker hit a weird roll up into the lockjaw, which I was impressive. I thought was impressive, but you know, I didn't care for the finish. It's like a fuck finish.
I gotcha.
And the NWA Women's Champion is just laid out. I didn't care for that.
Wait, she's not the champion, is she?
Oh wait, no, that's
I thought
Serena
Serena
Deeb.
Deeb is the champ.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
was she ever the NWA Women's Champion?
Yeah, Rosa was, but now she's a jabron, you know? She's allowed to lose.
Fuck, Jesus Christ, that sucks, dude. Oh no, but
Yeah.
but isn't Thunder Rosa still the TJPW Tokyo Joshi Pro Champion?
Oh, yes. I definitely know that to be a fact. My
because
favorite JPW Joshi Pro Wrestling Women's Champion of
because
all time.
because James mentioned it on the podcast.
No, did he?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, she is the TJPW International Princess Championship champion.
Oh,
And
wow.
actually, that's a lie. She is no longer the champion. She is.
Oh,
It,
okay. Well, you're just giving her all these accolades that she really is not entitled to, Tiger.
damn it. Okay. Well, I guess she's not no longer a champion. She can lose.
Famous wrestling promoter Thunder Rosa was laid out by Britt Baker. That's the headline here.
But
I think
Doctor
so.
Britt Baker, DMD, excuse me.
Oh, yes, excuse you.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
afterward,
So
yeah.
that match. Oh, okay. There was an afterwards because I don't,
No, no,
I don't
go
know.
go ahead, go ahead.
I just want to talk about Archer and Eddie
Oh
Kingston.
yeah, let's talk about that.
Um, I was pretty distracted on my phone during this match. I love both the two of them. I just didn't pay that much attention to it, and I'm pretty happy Lance Archer won.
Uh,
Ta-da!
the one thing I noticed is JR actually put over both of them in this match, which is rare.
Yeah, I think JR likes both of them. One, because he was probably responsible for Lance Archer signing with WWE, because I think he was head of talent relations at the time.
Yeah.
And then two, I think Eddie Kingston is just like a cool guy, and he probably appreciates them, you know? As
Yeah,
opposed to that goddamn motherfucker Chuck Taylor, you know? Fuck him.
I think when you look at Eddie Kingston, when you look at Chuck Taylor, you can tell which one of them has the scissors backstage. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
That's absolutely right.
that's where it comes down to. Yeah.
JR will only put over the guys that bring guns backstage.
I mean,
I like that.
I mean, shit. If you're gonna put somebody else, is to put over someone who you want to put over, huh?
That's true.
You're
No,
in,
this is true.
I'll put you in his roost and see who you want to put over.
I sort of wish it weren't such a definitive finish between Kingston and Archer this week, because then we could have like a final match between the two of them at Revolution, where it's like a scissors match. Just each of them is is given a pair of scissors.
Oh my
They just
god!
go at it.
Imagine the spinning back fist, but with the scissors.
That'd be sick.
Oh,
That'd be incredible. I mean, maybe they can still work it into the show. I don't know. I'm gonna hold out hope though.
yeah. I don't know. But you know what? I'm glad because like I think Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston should be both like fighting for something instead of just fighting each other because they don't like each other. Then that's really
Yeah.
I think they deserve to be fighting for something at least. And so it's Team Taz. Oh, at least I guess Team Taz was fighting for the TNT Championship. So that's better. That's better than just fighting over nothing, and that's kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. And then okay, so is the last thing that we have to talk about on this show the main event?
Yeah, let's talk about the main event.
Okay, I don't know what more I can say than Ray Phoenix is one of my favorite wrestlers, and he will probably always be in that small list of people. And he proved it during this main event, and I'm very happy that I get to watch this man wrestle. I'm very happy that he's done stuff since Lucha Underground and just fade into obscurity.
Yep.
And I'm in love with Ray Phoenix. He's a father. He's a good father. There's a documentary done about Mexican wrestling on Vice a couple of years ago, and it showed when he would come to a show in America, he have to wait like 3 hours at the border every single time to get across into California.
Really?
It was wild.
That's
Yeah.
still.
I mean, I don't think still. I think he probably lives in the U.S. at this point. But back then, he was commuting to all the shows.
That sucks.
And so,
That
yeah,
sucks
it
really bad.
sucks so bad. Like the camera crew was following him
Yeah.
to like while he was making the drive, and it was like this line that stretched miles and miles from the border for like the security checkpoint. It was insane.
Yeah.
But
That's really
point is,
terrible, yeah.
he did all of that. He worked hard to make some money so he could provide a better life for his kids so they can move out of Mexico City. And they did, I think. And he seems like such a great person and such a good wrestler. Ray
Yeah.
Phoenix is fantastic.
I love how in this match, like when it comes to the finishing stretch, like everybody's hitting their big moves, right? Phoenix he hits the double jump, drop kick, and Moxley hits like the lariat hits hits like a.
The wacky line?
I don't think Moxie hits the wacky. I think he.
Oh
What did
shit.
Moxie hit in this match?
I don't know. If it was a lariat, it better have been the wacky line.
And then Mr. Luke Gallows comes in with that big boot.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Dude, is there a man with skinnier legs than Doc Gallows in all of wrestling? Because I don't think there is.
I mean, shit. If you're like, I think it's all bones underneath, so it hurts extra bad.
It has to be. I don't get how the man is able to walk. I don't think he probably will be able to for many more years. But I don't get how those legs are attached to the rest of his body. It blows me away every time I see him. And I've been watching this man wrestle since I was like 10.
Maybe he doesn't have legs, and these are loaded pants.
Oh shit! They're just prosthetics.
It's a
Wow.
loaded pants.
Loaded pants.
Just like the El Phantasmo's loaded boots.
That's good. I like the idea that there is a wrestler who just is missing like either arms and legs, and instead of calling them prosthetics, they just call them loaded arms or loaded legs, and they just make him out to be such a villain who cheats in all his matches.
Yeah.
Instead of a man who is severely crippled.
Oh, okay. At some point, Pac also hits a 450 to break, like perfectly, to break up Kenny's pin on Moxley, which I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember anything from this match that I want to complain about. So I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
You know?
But
And,
after this match, something happened. After this match,
what happened, Tiger? What happened?
You tell me what happened now.
Oh, okay. So I guess there was some post-match beatdown shenanigans stuff where I mean I honestly couldn't put together what happened in my head like chronologically. It was something to the effect of the Good Brothers winning. Kenny Omega somehow gets laid out. Somehow Lance Archer ends up in the ring. Phoenix ends up in the ring. I guess they neutralize the Good Brothers. John Moxley's left in there somehow with Kenny Omega just on the ground. And it looks like John Moxley's about to go over to Kenny Omega, the man that beat him for his AEW World Championship. It looks like he's finally going to be able to seek some revenge one-on-one. Kenny's already down and out. And then a man dressed in black from head to toe. You can't make out his face. You can't make out his anything. Hops into the ring from the crowd, hops the barricade. He like takes off his mask before you can really even register someone's in the ring. And it was Hideo Itami. He beat up John Moxley. He hit him with CM Punk's move.
Wow, amazing! Every word you just said is wrong.
What are you talking about?
So Kenta comes in and botches the GTS, and then Moxley oversells.
What are you talking about?
I think he hits Moxie in the arm with the GTS because
What are you talking about?
Moxie is so big. Moxie is so big.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, and then
I'm a big Hideo Itami guy. You know?
Yeah.
Remember that time he got beat up in a parking lot? That was pretty cool.
Remember the time when he had a shoot with Aleister Black?
Damn. I don't.
Okay.
But I do remember the time when he came back from injury, and then he got injured again. And then he came back from injury, and he got injured again.
Yeah.
You know, that was pretty impressive. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I also remember the time.
There was also that show. Do you remember like it was for like the 100th or like the 50th year anniversary or some special edition of Raw where they had the show in two different locations, and one of them was like in the Manhattan Center, right? Like where the original Raws were. And on Twitter, there were all these fans taking photos with the 205 Live people because they had to end up taking the same elevator as all the fans. And so they just ended up like stuck with the crowd of fans that were trying to leave the venue. It was great.
Wow.
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hope
accommodations.
things go well for him.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. The dude, like, apparently when I was 10 and before I knew what indie wrestling was, he was the greatest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Um,
Along with
I've never seen that. but apparently he
No,
was.
you watched him fight Marufuji. Remember
I did.
there was a match
I
where
do remember watching the match with
and then
you.
Marufuji hit a moonsault that concussed himself and broke Kenta's ribs
Oh,
over the guardrail.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not good. That,
yeah,
that that wasn't a good thing. The match is good, but point is, what I've seen from him thus far and in the years since, it's not been
yeah.
spectacular.
I don't
Uh,
think he can go that hard nowadays. So, but
Nor should he. Like he probably shouldn't either. Like
yeah,
you know,
probably not.
taking the foot off the gas is probably the smartest option.
I think like if all those injuries were anything to be looking at, then you probably shouldn't
Hmm.
be going that way. But also something else. AEW announced they're gonna have a women's tournament on both Japan and America's side,
Oh shit!
and yeah,
My favorite American is Riho.
Rio.
Yeah,
But maybe she is American. I don't know.
maybe I've never checked her papers. It's okay.
Okay, but she can be wherever she wants to be. But the most important part
Yeah,
is Riho is back in AEW.
I mean, I guess you see her fucked up action figure.
No?
She has a real messed up action figure,
Oh
man.
God! Oh
Like
God!
by far the worst AEW has ever created.
Really?
It's
Is,
yeah, it
is,
was
is,
from like line 4 or whatever.
but is she like the only female that they've done so far?
She is the only female since Brandy, and they should have kept it at Brandy because
Was
it
Brandy
does not look like Riho,
was Brandy
not
bad?
even a little. No, Brandy was fine. Brandy looked like Brandy, like to an extent,
Okay.
but I don't know how to describe Riho. I really don't without being horribly mean to
Okay. Let me
either
check.
her or the creator of the action figures,
Let me check.
Jeremy Padower at Jazzwares. Oh, you're pulling it
Oh,
up?
oh wow. Okay, that face is something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like you look at the body, like that's cool. That's the outfit she wears, proportional. Everything seems pretty good. And then and you look at the face and it's
They're different because because I'm seeing two versions where one of them doesn't have her face that way.
So she had a variant, and the variant where she I think has her mouth closed, that one's good. That one is decent.
Yeah.
The one where she is smiling, however, is terrifying. It's
Yeah, that's not.
horrible.
Yeah,
No,
it's a little too over the top.
maybe a little. But you're right. This women's tournament is happening. I knew one girl on the Japanese side.
Wait, you don't
Uh,
know Aja Khan?
oh, was she in there?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that part. I
Okay.
guess I know her.
So on the Japanese side, there's Aja Khan, Yuka Sakazaki, who showed up. Remember, she was part of the like
Wait,
6-woman tag.
yeah, why do I know her name? What does she do? Is she the one with the weird music?
No, she's the one who's the magical girl, Yuka Sakazaki. She showed up earlier on in AEW, and she had
Oh
like
shit, then I know more than one person. I
yeah,
lied. She is the one with the weird music. I just Googled her.
yeah. Then I guess she is.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I don't like look at entrances. Like when entrances are happening, I'm in the bathroom like every time.
How dare
So
it's a ritual. Every time an entrance starts
yeah,
up, you head for the restroom.
yeah, because you don't want to sit there. Like you don't want to go to the
Yeah.
restroom when the match is
It
happening.
poses a problem. I got to be honest. It does make watching the Royal Rumble with you really awkward,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Really tough.
So and then there's Venny, who used to go by Asuka on the Japanese indies, like different. Obviously, because Asuka was known as Kana originally, and not Asuka.
I don't believe it.
And actually, Cheese this week posted a great highlight video for Venny on their Deadlock Twitter. So
Oh.
go check it out. Cheese, by the way, industry veteran, 11 years in the business, and I sent
I
his video.
Googled her name. Oh,
I sent
you saw the video?
I sent Cheese's video to a friend of mine yesterday, and they were not impressed with Cheese's editing, and I told them
Ah.
to respect this 11-year industry veteran.
And damn, poor cheese.
And
Poor
A-
goddamn
and
cheese.
Ami Sakura is in the. You don't know Ami Sakura? She fought Riho.
She's the. I don't like her. I don't like her at all.
Really? Because she's
No.
she's like Riho's teacher or whatever.
Yeah, I remember. They
Okay.
made sure I knew that. Don't worry. But I have some important matters to discuss about this Veni girl, okay? Because I Googled her, and one of the very first images on my Google search is from Wrestle with the Plot, Tiger. I,
What?
I don't, that's my first impression of this girl. It's her. She's holding a phone with a pig phone case. It's actually a pretty good phone case. Her hand is blocking most of it, but she's displaying her behind, and I don't know. I don't know.
Can you send a photo
Makes
to
me
me?
uncomfortable. Hmm?
What photo? What are you? What did you search? I searched.
I googled Oscar Veni and it showed up.
Okay, you go Oscar Venue. That's cool.
Okay, this is good. I'm glad we're taking the time out so we can both find this, so we
Where?
can fully analyze this photo. It's
Oh, oh,
right there.
no, I saw
No,
that.
this is Wrestle with the Plot.
Yeah, cool. Okay, that's fine. That's
Okay,
whatever.
okay.
I mean, don't you ever do that? I mean, you probably don't post it, but I know you do that in your own
How
time,
dare
for
you?
sure.
How dare you assume I
Okay,
don't post it?
I'm sorry.
I appreciate the
Sorry.
hangers in the background. There's a nice yellow wired one, a blue wired one.
I'm pretty sure this is just in a locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she can do what she wants anyway. So Ami Sakura is also in this, but also Ryo Mizunami, who's also part of the 6 people tag with Yuka Sakazaki originally. And then Deadlockites rise up because Mei Suruga representing Choco Pro and representing Deadlockites is in this tournament.
Yay. So I just Googled Maesaruga, spelled Maesaruga, and I don't think the woman I found is the woman you're talking about,
No, it's
because she appears to be an 80-year-old white woman with curly hair.
no Mei Suruga is in Meisuruga.
Oh, that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Uh,
But dude,
oh, this is not the same girl.
Mei Suruga personally thanked Deadlock on her Twitter the other day for for promoting her and all that stuff.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Yeah,
So I also Googled her. Unfortunately, no Wrestle with the Plot. However, there is on Stardom Joshi subreddit a photo of her with an apple on her head staring at 3 caramelized apples, or caramel apples, rather.
yeah.
Which,
But don't you ever
that's
do
good.
that in your private time? I know for sure that you've done this in your private time.
How dare you? I'm trying to analyze the background here. It looks like the kitchen is merged with a I guess a cleaning supply closet, but it also has all her shoes there.
But I think that's just where the trainees live.
Oh, just in this one room together
Yeah.
with mops, a sink, and shoes.
Yeah, that's where they wash the clothes for the established wrestlers.
I guess so. Wow.
And finally,
That's very impressive.
On the
Oh, shit,
Japanese
shit.
side, actually not finally. There's also Ren Kadokura, which I actually don't know for once.
Oh, you don't know Ren Katakura?
I don't know Ren Kadokura. I know you know Ren Kadokura on your personal time.
Oh, yeah, we hang out all the time.
Oh,
You don't even
shit.
know.
Yeah.
Her hanging out in her blue one piece. She's actually very attractive. But no, we hang out all the time. You don't even know. You don't even know. Okay, so on Squared Circle Reddit, someone called her the other Asuka, which I don't know if that's true. I thought you just told me Veni's the other Asuka.
Yeah, Venny is the other Asuka. That's not. No, I think that's.
What's this guy talking
This
about?
guy's spreading misinformation about Ren Kadokura.
How dare they?
Yeah.
Ren Katakura.
Okay, but I saw a highlight video of Miss Ren Kadokura the other day.
Wow.
And all I saw in that highlight video were drop kicks. I'm sure she is capable of other moves. But
I don't think so. I think that's the gimmick.
Okay,
I think that is the gimmick.
if that is a gimmick, that's fine. Maybe she should like finish her matches then with like the Kenny Omega drop kick to the back of the head off of the top rope.
So it seems like she's tag team partners or something with Mio Momono.
Oh
'Cause
shit,
they're wearing very similar outfits.
Shit, Mio Momono, that's like Deadlock classic.
Damn,
Yeah, Mio Momono, part of the New
Yeah.
Heart Foundation.
it's pretty sick. Wow.
Wait,
I'm looking at photos of Ren Katakura.
Wow, okay.
There aren't that many actually. There are only a
Yeah.
few, which is a bit
But-
underwhelming.
But finally, finally on the Japanese side, the one, the only, Maki Itoh is here, motherfuckers.
Whoa.
On Twitter, she
Do you think
posts,
she carries around a gun backstage?
"Fuck yes,
Oh, damn, JR's
dude,
gonna love her.
dude." She's probably got like 3 pairs of scissors.
Oh, that's probably true.
Yeah, she's probably got 3. I mean, she used to be an idol, so like, that's already like at least one extra pair of scissors gotta be carried around.
Yeah, at least bare minimum.
Yeah, so I mean, after she got fired from being an idol, at least one more extra scissor has to be added. So I'm estimating there's a total of 3 pair of scissors.
Let's see. I'm gonna look up to see if she and JR have ever interacted on Twitter. Because I mean, it seems like it had to have.
You just read some of her Twitter stuff. It's amazing.
Okay, actually, so what showed up instead was on the TJPW subreddit, someone posted a photo of all 4 of the girls that work for the promotion being announced for the tournament, and right below, the very first response to the post is, hopefully they keep that old man Jim Ross very far away from commentary when these girls are on. Which, oh,
I mean, if only JR will stop talking about putting a mistletoe on his belt, I think these.
yeah, that'd probably do him some favors. But imagine how messed up that is, right? Like, it's messed up, one, that he legitimately can't call a match with females in it without being a creep. But imagine if AEW accommodated it and just took him off TV whenever there was a female on screen. Like, how much worse that would be if they couldn't trust their commentator not to be a pervert.
Well, I think from my understanding of it, this tournament is going to happen in all different promotions. Like, they're just going to have a tournament, for example, in DDT, and they're going to be like, oh, the winner of this tournament is, the winner of the first preliminary match is Mei Suruga, for example. And then Mei Suruga is probably, they might have, the semifinals might happen in AEW.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not all going to happen on AEW TV.
Is what I'm getting the impression of.
Oh, I hope it all happens on AEW's YouTube page.
Fuck.
Then,
Oh,
that'd be
remember
the
when
way
they
to
had
go.
the women's tag team tournament?
Yes, that's what I am referencing. That's so bad.
It was won by Brandy.
Yeah,
It was
legendary tag team Brandy and the Bunny, of course.
Yeah, the Nightmare Collection.
Damn. Well, that, I think, Tiger, just about wraps up our recap of AEW this week.
You don't want to talk about the people on the American women's side?
No, we know them. The only cool one was like that Kirsch girl, right? Not Emil Kirsch. Who's Emil Kirsch? Why am I thinking of that?
Layla Hirsch, you mean?
Oh, maybe it's that.
Shit, Layla
Emil
Hirsch is
Hirsch.
also shooter. You think her powers also?
Oh, shit.
Oh shit.
Those are good questions. I don't know who. Oh, I'm thinking of Emil Hirsch, who is an actor. I don't know what Emil Hirsch was in. Let's find out real quick.
You think Mio Hirsch is related to Mio Momono in the New Heart Foundation?
Oh, he was the guy from Into the Wild. I mean, that's cool, I guess. I don't know why I know his name. I couldn't recognize this guy's face if I ever saw him. But
What do you think about
that's cool.
Mei Suruga becoming Mei Saint Michael with Saki-sama in the Neo Bishiki-gun in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling?
I'm gonna be honest, but halfway through that sentence, everything got so lost in my head. I don't know what's happening, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. We didn't talk very much about the wedding between Penelope and Kip, by the way. It was weird. I don't think I enjoyed it, but I don't think I hated it either. So I think that's a really nice ground to walk when you're a wrestling wedding, because it's very easy to be hated.
I think I think Miro actually sold it quite well. So like he sold it realistically.
Yeah.
I
He
think
did a good job.
Without Miro there, I think this would have been. And also it was fucking awesome. He was like, drinking Chuck Taylor's champagne. He's like, "You're working, so I'm taking this one."
Uh-huh. I honestly too, like I sort of enjoyed commentary, just not taking it seriously at all either. Like I sort of appreciated that they just
I
didn't
mean,
really give a shit.
people they're gonna expect that some bullshit is gonna happen. So why even
Yeah.
try? In that sense.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, it does. And I mean, I hate to say this, but it really does pale in comparison to the Bobby Lashley Lana wedding, because that is leaps and bounds one of my favorite wrestling segments there's ever been. With Lana's fake tanner just dripping down her face onto her dress the entire time. It was oh, it was wonderful.
the problem
No,
is,
that wasn't what it was. It wasn't like Bobby Lashley's tanner onto Lana when they kissed or something.
yeah,
It was
But the problem is, like,
it was messed up.
it killed poor Liv Morgan's career for a while.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But also, that was probably the peak of Liv Morgan's career. So it gave her that.
No, the peak of Liv Morgan's career is when she figured out how to do a rope rebound
Oh, whoa.
flatliner.
It wasn't when she took a bath on Monday Night Raw.
It was when Natalia said, "Next, I'm gonna do it to you, Liv," and Liv said, "Ah, fuck."
Oh, fuck. Yeah. No, that was the peak. My bad. You're right. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
This is gonna be you. Oh, that really is
Dude,
such a great sound clip.
So why can't her gimmick just being that she's like horny all the time? That'll be fucking awesome. That'll be pretty fucking cool, dude. She needs to be. She
It
needs
would
to
be pretty fucking
Yeah,
cool.
she would have been like super over in GCW.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. Oh,
Dude, now my computer's just full of photos of Lana. I don't know how to get out of this.
can you stop? Like,
I was Googling Miro.
can you stop?
I mean, to be fair,
Can you stop googling like people and like finding them on sketchy subreddits?
I was trying to find the kiss between Bobby Lashley and Lana that I was that I was mentioning. However, it doesn't look like it's anywhere on Google Images, which is really unfortunate. Maybe if I just type in wedding kiss. Okay, I see Bobby Lashley wiping his face. So that's enough for me.
Do you think Lana has that
Oh,
mentality?
I found it. I found it. It looks like Lana just face planted on the asphalt. It's so bad. Oh, this poor woman. What were you saying, Tiger?
Oh, I thought you were gonna post the photo in Discord, I guess.
Oh no, I can't. I can't. Don't you worry. Copy image address. Let's go over to Discord. There it is.
Oh my god.
Poor Lana.
Oh man. Yeah, do you think Lana has that mentality? The scissors mentality.
She probably does, yeah. Hashtag Lana Lashley wedding. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, here's a parting
Okay.
gift. Here's a parting gift to you.
Oh, a parting gift. It's a tweet from Maki Itoh. It says, retweets 910, likes 6010. Oh, wait. That wasn't what she said. Those are just the retweets and likes it got. She said, you can use it to tell your parents or friends I'm dating her. And they're very respectable photos. Maki Itoh looking out onto these beautiful, beautiful horizons. That's a wonderful image, Tiger. Thank you. Thank you. I prefer the image I sent, to be fair, but these are nice.
I mean, I prefer when people don't need to like be degraded over a fake wrestling wedding, but sure.
What do you mean degraded? I just went on about how it's one of my favorite segments in the history of wrestling. There's nothing but respect for Lana in this situation.
No, but okay, let's talk about how Penelope was degraded this week in the fake wrestling wedding.
Oh, yeah, I remember To Love and To Grope. That was the thing that happened.
Yeah, I also remember
Twice it happened.
Yeah, dude, I also remember that like she tried to like get some cake on her face, but the cake actually didn't stick. at all.
No, the cake
So she had
didn't
like
stick.
a little bit of powder on her face, and she's like selling like she's completely covered.
It wasn't well done, you know, like, but it could have gone worse.
Yeah, maybe they could have put a Hikaru Shida in the segment or something.
Maybe, maybe, but it is an unfair standard when the last wedding we had was hashtag Lana Lashley wedding, and they did set the bar pretty damn high.
Was that the wedding where Liv came out and she's like, actually, I'm in love with Lana.
Yeah, so there were actually a few run-ins during this wedding. Actually, the officiator for the wedding, the one who was there to make the ceremony and all the proceedings legitimate, was doing an impression of a comedian that was really bad, to say the least. I don't know why he did it, but he put on this obnoxious voice, and I think in his mind he thought it was really funny. And then I think Rusev jumped out of a cake, and then Liv Morgan came out, and somehow in the process of it all, I think they still got married, Bobby Lashley and Lana, despite the multiple interferences. So, good for them. I hope they're happy.
Yeah.
There's no way Lana doesn't have that kind of mentality about her, you know, because Bobby Lashley knows how to pick them. They should probably add Mickey
No,
James
but
and Lana
hold on.
for the Hurt
but,
Business.
But they're divorced now in story.
Oh shit, you're right. But do you think Bobby would have ever at any point in his life married a girl that doesn't have that old school mentality?
Maybe
That
that's
WWE
the one,
2007, 2009 mentality?
maybe that's the one mistake he made and he really regrets it, and that's why
Oh, shit.
they got divorced. And that's a stain,
You're right.
That's a stain on his record.
Lana, when she debuted, like as the manager of the Bulgarian Brute, she had that mentality, you know. But I think it softened over time.
Yeah, because of that hooligan Dolph Ziggler, of course.
How damn that hooligan! How dare he?
Damn it.
Remember when
Summer
Rae would feed grapes to Tyler Breeze?
Remember Tyler Breeze? Remember how Tyler Breeze was like really great? Like he's the ace of NXT with Finn Balor, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Pac.
Yeah, what happened, man? What happened?
Summer Rae fed him grapes.
It was good. It was very good. I also remember Rusev throwing a fish at her at one point.
Oh, and calling her a cold fish.
Yep, that was the quote.
I remember a few weeks prior to all of that happening, Rusev was feuding with John Cena.
Good. Great. Love WWE. Love storytelling.
Yeah. See, Rusev was champion when I got back into WWE, so I think he still should be champion.
I think so. I didn't realize that the website I took the photo of Lana from also came with a entire summary of the segment, and so it was apparently Bobby Lashley's makeup that just created a line going down her entire face. It was his foundation, which is so wonderful. Oh, and then Lashley kept wiping his face to try to signal to Lana to do it, but she had no clue what he was doing. So it didn't make any sense. Okay, Tiger, I think it's about time for us to wrap up this wonderful edition of Main Stage Wrestling. Don't you think?
Can you read this tweet?
The tweet? Oh, wait. I will read the tweet, but I forgot about another interference during the wedding when Lana's first husband, before Rusev came out. Do you remember that?
Miro?
No. Miro came out, Liv Morgan came out, but there was also some other guy that just came out and claimed to be Lana's first husband from her first failed marriage and warned Bobby Lashley against marrying her. Which, that's good.
Okay.
It's great.
Sure.
Okay. I see this new tweet. The ish smelling cream made me cute.
The shit.
It's also from Maki Itoh.
Is it the shit smelling cream?
That's a video, Tiger. That's certainly a video.
いやいや、まあまあやめましょう。そう
I
Yeah, English. Maki Itoh gets cream on her face.
yeah, she got pied, and then she screams a little bit with a look of like just terror written across her face. It's sad. It's a sad image. But what's not sad, Tiger, is that this was the return edition of main stage wrestling. I mean, we're not in a radio studio anymore.
No,
We've unfortunately lost Sam Gelfand. He's passed away in the woods once again, which is very unfortunate.
yeah.
However, hopefully he resurfaces alive and well. And we'll be back whenever for another episode.
Yeah, probably.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
There we go.